See, these guys knew. They wrote their own music, but they got their lyrics from this thing called the Dark Book. That's like the Bible for demons. And here's the creepy part. This is their only album, and after they made it, they all died in a plane crash. And look at this.
The Demon Lord.
Terry, come on.
Wait a minute. See, the lyrics in the album tell you how to summon the demons. Now, there's this certain time when these constellations are aligned, when you can open the gate and let the old gods, those are the demons, come through.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Movie Buffer, and tonight we're going to be reviewing The Gate. The Gate is a 1987 supernatural horror film directed by Tibor Takács and starring Stephen Dorff in his film debut. The film follows two young boys who accidentally release a horde of demons from their backyard through a large hole in the ground. The film was released by the new Century Vista Film Company and grossed around twice its budget. Since its release, it has obtained cult following and was followed by a sequel in 1990 titled The Gate 2, Trespassers, which I haven't seen. The 3D remake was initially set for a release in 2011, but it didn't come out. The first draft of the script was written by Michael Nankin when he was unemployed, which most writers are unemployed. I can speak very deeply to that. And recently he was divorced, basing it on the nastiest thoughts from his childhood. Glen and Al were depicted as being more mischievous than shown in the film, and the demons spread to the rest of the town, where they would drag neighbors out into the streets to kill them. The gigantic demon was originally envisioned as being made of bloody entrails. So that was his first thing. But remember, a book is not a movie, or even a screenplay is not in the final draft of the movie. So there it is. The first draft is what the writer writes. The last final draft is what all these other people, editors, write. So, there it is. The house was a real home in Toronto, but an exterior exit had to be constructed for the production, featuring bricks, stairs, and a bug zapper. Beyond the final backyard was a new housing development, so the crew erected a fence around the yard to block out the construction vehicles and workers from the view. The effects used the demons included stop motion animation as well as forced perspective, wherein actors wearing rubber suits were made to look minuscule by their position relative to the camera and to the human characters. Randall Williams Cook, the film's special effects supervisor, used his hand and eye to create the scene where an eyeball appears in Glen's palm. Great scene. I'm sorry. It was just really great. The Gate opened in the U.S. on May 15th, 1987. It ranked second in its opening weekend and grossed $4.3 million. It grossed a total of $13.5 million by the end of the run. Lionsgate released a special edition DVD on October of 2009 with audio commentary from the director and interviews. They later released a Blu-ray version on their label Vestron Video. On February 2017, it includes commentary from the filmmakers and several featurettes. So this movie, they stuck to the cult classic. They stuck to the cult fandom and said this movie is more than just some creepy, cheesy October type horror film. This means something to the fans, so they continued, to relate to that. In 1992, a sequel was released entitled The Gate 2, Trespassers, and the only person who returned was Louis Tripp. He reprised his role as Terry, but he was the only one of the original cast members to return. And I haven't seen it. It didn't get a lot of publicity. It was basically a flop. So, there it is. My review. This cult classic, even with all of the dated imagery and stop motion graphics, still holds to the test of time because of its actually being really good and very creepy and scary. Maybe as a Gen Xer, like myself, do I get it, and it responds to me, but I think this classic from the late 80s stands the test of time. Plays the 14-year-old Stephen Dorff, also known most notably for Blade, Fear.com, and Immortal, as well as a whole host of other movies, plays Glen, who is the unintentionally young boy who opens the gate to hell after an old tree was uprooted from his backyard. Along with his best friend Terry, played by Louis Tripp, find a granite rock in the rubble, and they continue to investigate if there are more rocks, but uncover a cavernous hole that seems to go on for miles underground. This is a typical story about kids in the suburbs playing around with things they shouldn't. The oblivious parents leave the kids alone for 3 whole days, while the 16-year-old sister babysits. Sort of your typical risky business 1980s movie where kids is left home alone and promised not to have a party. Yet this movie is more in depth and a hell of a lot scarier. Instead of hookers, like in Risky Business, it's real demons they have to worry about. Glen and Terry do their research, which Terry knows a lot about because he is into the supernatural and acid rock music that have clues in the lyrics about such things, and they have to fight these demons alone. Armed with his rocket, Glen was able to destroy the demon and send him back to hell. This movie was riveting, scary, and exciting. If you are into horror, demons, and monsters, you will love not only the action in this film, but the ancient lore that they have unveiled within it. I absolutely love this movie and am proudly consider myself part of that cult fandom. So, have you seen The Gate? What do you think about the classic horror movie? Is it part of your cult horror fandom? Please leave your comments below. Share your thoughts on this movie, as well as other horror classics that I should review. And this movie currently is available on Amazon Prime, on Freevee, so you can watch it for free currently. So check it out. And as always, peace, 2 fingers.